All right. So today we're going to be learning about continental drift and Pangea. Pretty much the same thing. So the person or the founder of this idea of continental drift was Alfred Wegener, I believe they say it. Born in 1880, died in 1930. So he got to see all this, what we see. He proposed a theory of continental drift that pretty much every continent was together. All 7 continents were at one point just one piece of land. And no one believed him at the time because they were saying like, it's just like, he's crazy. That didn't happen. Well, until after he died, people started realizing, oh, he might have had something on there. So that's when his idea was popular. All right, so a little bit about him. He received his PhD to become an astronomer. That didn't work out. Changing to meteorology worked out. He's famous for that thing he did, which is continental drift. And he would state that, like I said, everything was at one point one continent, and he named it Pangea. Next slide. All right, what is continental drift? Well, this is when, let's say, where's it put on here? Pretty much continental drift is when every piece of land is moving slowly, mostly by the tectonic plates that are just pushing it upwards. And even to today, where every continent you see today is still being pushed, I think it was about 1 inch every few years, every year. I mean, as you can see, I put here, these are all together at one point. They all separated. Now we have separated continents. What are these plate tectonics? Well, what are plate tectonics? Like I said, tectonics of the Earth's outermost layer over the lithosphere that made up the crust. So pretty much it just breaks up into the rocks, breaks up more, goes on, different directions. How does this happen? Like I said, it moves every bit every year. So at the point you're like, oh shoot, like maybe a few years from now we might be farther than we are now. Australia might be going way farther. Antarctica might be going farther down. We'll just see in a few years. All right, Pangea. Everyone knows this. Pretty sure. All right, like that. Like he mentioned, he said that this Pangea, how he named it, was pretty much all 7 continents together in one. How he got that idea was because he did, well, the simplest thing. He got them all together. He saw the coastlines. He's like, hey, these fit together pretty well. So what he theorized is like, he said, okay, if these all fit together, I'm gonna put them together. And that's what he did. And that's when he got the idea of Pangea, which is a Greek word for all rivers. But after all that, like I said, last slide, plate tectonics started pushing them aside until they all got separated. Now we're here with our land masses. And today they're now Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, and North America, which we are in, and South America. Let's not forget that. It's like America, but South. Evidence on why Pangea was real. Okay, so this is what backs up all his evidence. The evidence what they had was, remember, back then before we had all these humans roaming around, it was dinosaurs, plants, it was life. So what he saw that some places in the earth, some animals, fossils were either, let's say, North America, and then the others were like in Asia. And he was like, how did that happen? There's one theory. Since it was all one together at some point, they pretty much all just migrated. And, life was there. These dinosaurs are there. That's why you see some few dinosaurs here, some few over there. Vegetation was a thing where some plants were found here and some plants were found farther out north or whatever they were. So that's how they were like, okay, this makes sense. If they brought together at one point, this would all make sense because, like I said, dinosaurs migrated depending on either they stayed in the code or were taught. And I also found out that, where is it? Africa. Okay, so the three dinosaurs that they found evidence from, examples, was the, correct me if I'm pronouncing these wrong, Mystosaurus, Cygnonastus, Distosaurus, and Glossopteris. Those are the four dinosaurs that they found in different variety of places. There could be more, honestly. I just found these four on the internet after doing my research. Oh, and the other thing that was forgot to mention was they found similar rock formations in two different continents. What does that mean to you? What does that mean? That means if you get a rock and you cut it in half, you put this rock over here and you put rock over there, you'll be like, how did they get over here? There were two there at one point, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's why this is some evidence. This is just of like a breakdown of what it really is. It's not really like, you know, anything hard. Next slide. Oh, this is a twist. So Alfred Wegener is the one that gets most of the credit for all that's happening. The whole Pangea, the whole it drifting away, it being together at one point. But there was one person before him in the 1900s that stated this before. This guy was Frank B. Bursley, which came to a shock to me. Because I thought, oh, Alfred Wegener's the one who thought of it all right. But in his article about him, he stated that he picked up this information from this man himself, because he did a book as well talking about plate tectonics, which as well in that time people didn't really take it seriously because they're like, no, it doesn't make sense. It's like, it's stupid, it's dumb, it's like whatever. So this man over here on the screen, he published a book of evidence of continental drift. And it wasn't until later when like Wegener came around, he's like, oh, this guy, he was right. I'm gonna get his book, see what he wrote about, and I'm gonna go figure it out myself with his information. So pretty much he started it. Wegener went out and did it, and he finished the discovery, which now today, without these two, we wouldn't have this whole Pangea, this whole continental drift. Even today, it's happening. And pretty much he was an early contributor to the whole idea, theory, whatever it was. You know, scientists back then were like, no, you're stupid, you're crazy, nah, nah. Look at that. Today, yeah, that would have been what, an award. And let's see what else. What else did I put on? These are my notes. Thank you, Internet and Google. Presentation on this thing. See, this is a man. This is a guy. So you can see how different it looks. Anyways, that was our presentation. Thank you for watching this, Professor, and my sister who's logged into this. Thank you, and bye.